helmet on tight. There's a growl from a cougar on a 50-yard line. Hungry for victory and looking for a fight. Scratching and clawing with red in his eyes. Screaming out of nowhere down from the sky. There's a swarm of yellow jackets coming in sight. Angry as a bulldog right behind a lobo. Now don't you worry, mama, it's just Friday night.
Welcome to the Sailor One's High School Football Game of the Week with Q Country's Camden Smith and Mike Grineal.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Tempe High School. It is round 2 of the state playoffs here, the 2006 state playoffs, brought to you by Cellular One here on Q Country 92.5 and Cable Channel 58. Camden Smith, Mike side with Mike Grineal as we get set for action today. We've got 2 games on tap. The first one features the Yellow Jackets of Blue Ridge High School and the Wranglers of Wickenburg High School, and the Wranglers look really big today.
Yeah, we saw them warming up and thought, oh, they don't look so big, and then 10 minutes later their line came out, and they got one guy that's 6'8", 320. So they definitely have some size that should give the Jackets, could give the Jackets some problems.
The Wranglers have scored 55 touchdowns on the season. 41 of those go to 3 players. Jeff Alder, Scott, I'll check the last name for you in a second, and also a third guy. In fact, we'll get to those in just a second. Let's take a look at some of the players here tonight that will need to step up big for the Yellow Jackets as we take a look now at Frank Parkinson, the 5'10", 171-pound senior for Blue Ridge, who leads the team in rushing with 142 carries, 852 yards, and 9 touchdowns on the season. He is flanked by Steele Armstrong, the 6'1", 192-pound sophomore transfer student from Payson High School, who's second on the team now in rushing. In just a short season, he's gained that accolade with 77 carries, 467 yards, 6 touchdowns, and he leads the team in yards per game, averaging 93.4 yards per game. Steele Armstrong is one of those players that's added a lot to this Blue Ridge team. Also, Ryan Martinez, who is first on the team in receiving. He is up there along with some very good, classy players in the 3A East, namely Justin Crick and a bunch of others there from Round Valley. He has 25 catches, 527 yards, 5 touchdowns. The 5'9", 149-pound junior also leads Blue Ridge in interceptions defensively with 4 interceptions coming into tonight's contest. And Ryan Martinez, Mike, and along with Steele Armstrong and Frank Parkinson, all going to have a good game, along with Brian Williams
Well, I was
today.
going to say, don't forget about quarterback Brian Williams. He had a really good game against Monument Valley last week in the first round of the playoffs. He didn't throw the ball great, but he did a lot of good things with his feet, and the real reason for that is because he made good decisions. So you're right, Camden, those guys are going to have to carry the load offensively for the Yellow Jackets tonight.
We'll look for Michael Lundgren also to step up defensively. He's leading the team in tackles, and a whole host of others are going to have a good game tonight to beat the Wickenburg Wranglers. That's going to wrap things up for our Horn Auto Center pregame show here on Cable Channel 58. For those of you listening on Q Country 92.5, we'll take a look at the Wranglers when we come back here to Tempe High School. Round 2 of the state playoffs coming up, presented by Cellular One. This is the Horn Auto Center pregame show here on Q Country 92.5 and Cable Channel 58. This is Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and Cable Channel 58. The Wickenburg Wranglers will tee it up and get set to kick it away. Yellow Jackets will have the ball first. They'll run right to left on your radio dial. A high one as they put foot into it. Going to be fielded at the 15, out to the 20, to the 25, and brought down at about the 20, call it the 26. As the Yellow Jackets get a decent return. And was it Martinez on the return, Mike?
I believe it was. Some tentativeness out there by the Yellow Jackets. You know, these guys have not had a lot of confidence so far this year, although it's been building in recent weeks. However, they got to get past those early game jitters and come to play, because I'm sure Wickenburg is.
And I will tell you, Mike, we have had just all kinds of funny things happening to us today. The pitch will go out to Parkinson. Turns the corner, has room, and as he rolls over a defender, close to first down, the yardage across the 35 to the 36-yard line. A nice run by Frank Parkinson.
Yeah, and that was not tentativeness by any means. So you like to see that out of Frank Parkinson. One other key, Camden, for the Yellow Jackets is going to be turnovers. They cannot turn the ball over. They had a couple problems with that last week against Monument Valley, but still happy to come out with the win.
Market Street Mortgage first down as the Yellow Jackets move it. Steele Armstrong, give it to him, off tackle right side, and he's tripped up, but carries for about 4 or 5. He's averaging 6 yards per carry on the season, and he gets out to the 44-yard line. Gain of 5 on this play to bring up second down and 5 from the Yellow Jacket 44.
Well, that's the other thing, Cam, is they're going to have to mix up, give the Wranglers a dose of Parkinson and Armstrong and alternate those guys so they can't key in on one player.
They will flank or send out to the wide side of the field. Sterling Weiss set Martinez in motion behind the formation. And they give right side to Armstrong. He's upended as he crosses the 45. Not much on that carry. It's going to bring up a huge third down play for the Yellow Jackets to see what they can do. In fact, they mark him all the way back at the 45.
That's a rough spot. It looked like Armstrong kind of fell over the pile, but nonetheless, the Jackets are going with a lot of unbalanced line stuff, trying to get all their guys on one side of the ball so that they can try to win the numbers game over there. But, Wickenburg's got some good size over there. They're going to be hard to move. They might have to try a little misdirection here.
Third and a long 3 from the Yellow Jacket 45-yard line. As Williams barks the signals out, sets a man in motion back towards the formation, and then we'll pitch it to Armstrong. He stiffs arms in the backfield, has room to the 50, into Wrangler territory at the 40, and spun down at the 35. And a Market Street Mortgage first down as Steele Armstrong gets around the corner here on the near side.
Well, and he picked up some good blocks there by Frank Parkinson. And also it looks like, let me check that number, Prospero Herrera in there doing some blocking. And it looks like that's the only thing he was in there for, is he's coming out of the game replaced by Martinez. So some nice blocking, hooking that in, allowing Armstrong to turn the corner. I think if he would have cut it back up inside a little sooner, he might have gone for more.
Yellow Jackets will send a wide out to the far side. Steele Armstrong is a slot to the right side of the formation. They send Martinez back behind Williams. Williams under center. Fake the pitch, hand it off to Armstrong, who's coming the other direction. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, falls forward as he crosses the 35-yard line of the Wranglers to get some positive yardage. He was hit at the line of scrimmage. He picks up, call it 1. It'll bring up second down and 9.
Well, that's just a good play by the cornerback for the Wranglers. Sheldon Murphy came up, and he grabbed hold of Armstrong's ankle and would not let go. Armstrong isn't running quite as hard as he has been known to so far here in the opening parts of this game. Yeah, he's going to have to look to step that up. 3
wide receivers to the right side of the formation and 1 to the near side. It's Weiss. The officials, however, will blow this one dead, and we apologize. We've had just an enormous amount of technical problems here today.
Now we're having some Mother Nature problems. That sun is hitting us square in the face. Who designed this press box?
I don't know, but they weren't planning on a 5 o'clock game, I guarantee you that. 9:39 to play in the first quarter. No score. Yellow Jackets will
they call the timeout.
They got a timeout on the field. And we'll keep it here for this one as the Jackets looking to pick up some yardage here. They have had a decent drive so far and have done a good job with the quick hitting plays. We've talked about that, Mike, all season long, how teams need to get those quick hitting plays in quickly and early in the ball game to establish the rhythm of the game.
Well, and the other thing, Camden, when you don't have a very big line, when you can't sustain blocks for very long, you have to get your running back and the ball to the line of scrimmage faster because that's all you have. And, Blue Ridge has been known for having small lines, and so the quick hitting plays work better. And also, they don't quite have the speed to get to the outside. If they're going to try and do that on a sweep or something, they have to do the quick hitting plays or the misdirection in order to get to the perimeter or to the line of scrimmage.
They send Sterling Weiss wide to the right as they come out of the timeout. The Yellow Jackets facing a second down and 9 at the Wickenburg 34-yard line. They go a bunch set to the right side, pitch it out to Parkinson. He tries to turn the corner. He's hitting the ball, squirts loose, and it could be Wickenburg ball. A couple players fighting for it. I think Weiss is down there. And Weiss appears to have the ball. Check it.
Yeah, that was Weiss who picked it up. But
pretty much ripped it away from a Wickenburg player.
That's only because he was at the line of scrimmage, and that's what I talked about, the turnovers. Frank Parkinson has not done well when he's been hit hard, and he just took a shot in the back on that play.
Brings up 3rd and 11 as they lose yardage on the play. They send trips left and one to the right. Hand it off straight ahead. Armstrong is tripped up as he gets a hole up inside the middle across the 30-yard line, inside the 30 to about the 28.
Well, they're too short. It's too short to punt. So, and I'm not sure that Coach Morrow has a lot of confidence yet in Francisco Bonilla, who has not played in the last couple of weeks. So I would look for the Jackets to go ahead and go for it here. They do bring in Prospero Herrera, who is sole purpose in there is to block. He's a bigger receiver than Martinez, and so I'm sure they're going for it.
Francisco Bonilla's longest field goal of the season is only 33 yards. This would be way beyond his range in terms of what he's hit so far.
I got an equipment issue here by the middle linebacker, Josh Amaral. They're going to have to bring in a substitution for him.
Checking in for Amaral is the big number 77, who we do not have on our roster. So we'll have to check the number for you as Williams on 4th down and 4. Jackets going to go for it. The Wrangler, 28-yard line. Pitch it out to Armstrong. Sweeping right, hitting the backfield. He's going to be dropped, and the Wranglers will have the ball at their 30-yard line, and they hold on 4th down to get the turnover.
Well, you know, Armstrong might be a product of his own success in that case. He didn't go north-south. He kept trying to stretch that out. He's not going to outrun a lot of people to the corner. He's got to just get running up north-south as Dallas Mills came up and just made a great play. Didn't allow, Armstrong relies on that stiff arm a lot, but these Wickenburg Wranglers are too strong for that. He's going to have to change strategy.
Wickenburg Wranglers on their opening possession here. Drew Vaughn, the junior quarterback, sends receivers right and left and gives it off tackle left side. Big hole opens up. Jackets upended, but not before he picks up 8 or 9 yards. And the carry that time to the Scott McKeever, senior running back, who scored 20 touchdowns on the season and leads the team in rushing yardage with 1,321 yards on the season. This kid's the real deal.
Well, and just already you see the difference in the speed of attacking by McKeever compared to the Yellow Jacket running backs Armstrong and Parkinson.
So Wickenburg lines him up. Set a man in motion back behind the formation. They will pitch to him. He turns the corner at the 40-yard line, hit, and he fights his way forward, picks up about 4 or 5 yards after the initial contact. In on the stop was Parkinson. The carry that time was Jeff Alder, who is second on the team in rushing, has 747 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's carried the ball 80 times. Between those two players, they are pretty much the entire offense when it comes to the running game.
Well, the problem is there, Armstrong trying to make up for his miscarry on the 4th down play, trying to go for the ball instead of wrapping up for the tackle, first man there. And that's what allowed Alder to pick up that first down.
It's good for a Market Street Mortgage first down, and the handoff again to Alder up inside on the counter, and he has positive yardage across midfield to the 49. As they get into Yellow Jacket territory on another 8 yards on the carry. And this is what Wickenburg does. They hit hard and they hit fast.
Well, great block up at the point of attack by Blake Christman for the Wranglers. But I tell you, Cannon, the biggest difference right now is just the speed that the Wranglers are coming off the ball compared to that of the Jackets. I mean, there is no tentativeness there for the Wranglers.
Wickenburg has well over 1,442 yards in passing on the season. They hand it off here to McKeever, and the Jackets are there defensively. Michael Lundgren helping out on the tackle along with Stephen Parkinson, also popping up from the pile for the Yellow Jackets. First person on initial contact for the Jackets was Dwight Boyd, the 6'4", 274-pound sophomore coming from his defensive tackle position.
Well, the Jackets are going to have to come up with a lot of more plays like that. And, they really need the senior Jeff Baldonado to step up. And in case Vaughn does drop back to pass, it's Baldonado who's going to have to put pressure on him.
They bring Tyler Murphy here to the near side of the line on 3rd down and short. They hand it off to McKeever. McKeever off tackle left side, has a couple of yards close to the sticks. This could move it on 3rd down as they will depend on the spot, and it looks like they gave him a good one.
They're gonna give him the first down. It was a good spot. And, McKeever just runs hard. He hits the hole hard. He keeps those feet moving. It makes him a tough target. And it makes them hard to bring down, because the tendency is when you're a tackler is as soon as you feel like you're wrapping up, you just let your feet go instead of continuing to drive them. And that's been one of the problems the Jackets have had this year is the tackling issues. They're going to have to shore that up here early in the game.
At the 46-yard line, the Wickenburg Wranglers have a 1st and 10, a fresh set of downs for them. They hand it off, second man through off the right side. Jackets are there defensively. They stiffen up and drop him after a gain of 1. It's Jeff Alder on the carry, and he can't get too far. Still Armstrong in on the stop. as the Yellow Jackets are going to need to do something here. An interesting thing about the offense for Wickenburg, Mike, is that on the passing side, Drew Vaughn, 90 passes, 90 of 138 passes for 1,442 yards and 20 touchdowns. But here's the deal. His completion percentage, 65%, but he, although he's completing 65% of his passes, they throw the ball less than 10 times per game.
Right.
And they'll pitch it out to Alder. He sweeps to the right side, hitting the backfield. Jackets sniff it out all over the place. And coming up to make the stop, Stephen Parkinson, along with number 31 for the Yellow Jackets, who is Griffin Sturm, the 5'10", 143-pound sophomore, will drop him for the loss of 3.
Oh, Griffin's going to have to watch putting that head down, though. He won't be playing in this game very long.
Ball all the way back to the Yellow Jacket 49-yard line, where they face a 3rd and 13.
See that first pass.
And stepping up the pass is Vaughn, goes left side, has a man, and it's
intercepted.
Off. Sterling Weiss with open field in front of him, midfield, 45-40, cuts it up, makes a couple of moves, and is dropped at the 30-yard line, and will pick up a huge turnover for the Yellow Jackets in Yellow Jacket territory, or excuse me, in Wrangler territory at the 32-yard line.
Well, that's exactly what Brandon Juber and I were talking on the way down here, is that Sterling Wise is going to have a huge game, because though Wickenburg doesn't throw it often, they do have success, and he's going to have to roam sideline to sideline, and he shows his great athleticism there, going up at the high point, just like your coach to, and picks that one off. Martinez had good coverage, but the shorter Martinez against I believe it was Ben Root was the intended receiver. They're getting a flag for something, but it's still Jackets ball. But Sterling Wise is going to have to do a real good job. We saw Wickenburg practicing that exact pass play almost all of their warm-up time, and so just a great play to stop a drive for the Yellow Jackets.
Sterling Weiss's second interception of the season, and it couldn't come at a more opportune time as the Wranglers were driving in Yellow Jacket territory. After the penalty, the Jackets have the football at the Wrangler 49. They hand it off, and Jackets don't have much room to run there as they go straight ahead with the carry. And for the Yellow Jackets, it was Jose Rosales, the 5'9", 152-pound junior, 3rd on the team in rushing, gains an inch.
Jose's kind of been the forgotten man. I'm trying to figure out why they're putting that marker away back there.
It looks like, yeah.
But Jose's kind of been the forgotten man with the addition of Steele Armstrong here.
There they go. They give him a yard.
Okay.
1st down and 9. Williams wide out to the near sideline, slot right, 2 men split behind him. Martinez comes in motion behind the formation. He hands it off straight ahead, and it is good for a couple yards here to Parkinson, and Parkinson tries to bull his way down into the big defensive line of the Wickenburg Wranglers, picks up a couple to the 46.
I'll tell you, the Jackets trying to run traps on the middle of that line against the Wickenburg Wranglers, and they're just not buying it. They're doing a great job of just getting down, hunkering down, and not allowing any movement by that Yellow Jacket offensive line, who just doesn't have the weight to do it.
3rd down and 7. Yellow Jackets with 2 men split behind Williams, send 2 wideouts here to the near sideline. Williams takes the snap, hands it off, and met at the line of scrimmage and pushed backwards is Jose Rosales. And making the stop is Jeff Alder, who is 2nd on the team in tackles, came into tonight's contest with 115 tackles and shows why he's a standout defensive player as well as a great running back.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Jackets, the bottom line is they're just not blocking enough guys. 2 guys, Alder along with another player for Wickenburg, just had a clean shot at Rosales because the draw play didn't fool anybody. Of course, they haven't thrown a pass yet. Kind of hard to run a draw play when you haven't thrown a pass yet. You're not gonna scare too many people with that drop back.
From the Wickenburg 46, it is 4th down and 5. Jackets will punt. Williams drops back to his 40. Gets this one off. It's an end-over-ender. Bounces at the 22. Rolls down. Takes a Yellow Jacket bounce and rolls down inside the 15. Will be marked down at the 14-yard line by the Yellow Jackets. Number 54, Ian Candelaria, the 5'10", 174-pound senior, marks the ball down inside the 20, so the Wranglers will have poor field position to start their 2nd drive of the evening.
Well, one thing I'm sure the Wickenburg coaches have seen against this Yellow Jacket offense is that they can come after them. They can be very aggressive, and the Jackets haven't had an answer. I believe that they're going to have to rely on Brian Williams a little bit more to try to open up that offense a little bit for the Jackets. They're going to have to pass it a couple times here on their next drive.
Wranglers operating from their 14, call it their 13. They send wideouts left and right, throw a quick slant. It's caught. Good for a first down to the 25-yard line. And on the reception, right in the middle of the sun, it's good for their favorite receiver, Tyler Murphy. The senior wide receiver who picks up his 43rd catch of the season with that one and now has over 730 yards in receiving yardage for the season.
And the nice thing is that in about 10 minutes, we're going to be able to see. But the Jackets, that's going to be the go-to guy, and they have Martinez. He's going to lock up on number 4, Tyler Murphy, all night.
From the Wrangler 25, set a man in motion behind the formation, give it to the second man through right side. It's McKeever. McKeever slips through the hole and picks up about 9 yards to the 34, call it the 30. They'll mark him back at the 34-yard line, just shy of the 35.
I'll tell you what, if you look at where McKeever was first contacted, he gained 8 yards after that first contact because he just runs hard, and he's playing harder than anybody else on the Yellow Jacket side of the ball, and they're just not quite ready for that.
Wide out goes to the far side of the formation. They send a man in motion back behind the formation. That's Ben Root. They hand it to McKeever again. Hit in the backfield, bounces forward, has a first down. Dropped after a gain of a couple across the 35 to the 36. And a Market Street Mortgage first down for the Wranglers with 1:08 to play here in the first quarter. We're still scoreless, but the Wranglers on the move again.
What's interesting, Camden, is that both most of the carries by the Wranglers haven't netted them a whole lot of yards. The Jackets have done a good job, but when they do give up, when they do bend, it's for 8-9 yards at a pop, and that's going to allow Wickenburg to pick up a lot of first downs.
At the 37, send Root in motion again back behind the formation. And hand the ball to Alder, who slips a tackle, tries to spin his way out of a second tackle, and I think it was Williams who came up to get the shoestring tackle on the right side there as he crosses the 40 to the 41.
I'll tell you what, textbook blocking, though, by the Wickenburg Wranglers front five on the draw play. They got the defensive ends to clear out way wide, and the lanes were open for Alder. He just kind of danced through them a little bit too much and allowed the Jackets to get hold of him, but a great job so far by the offensive line for the Wranglers.
And the Wranglers going to send a wide out to the far side of the formation, slot right, offset eye behind Vaughn. Hand it off to Root. Root turns up inside. He was the slot, lined up as the slot right side. He's close to first down yardage to the 47, call it the 48-yard line. And he's finally brought down. He's third on the team in rushing. That's his 20th carry of the season for well over 210 yards now, and he's been averaging 11 yards per carry. And part of the reason is because folks get keying in on Alder and McKeever, and then he's left alone. And that will end the first quarter of play. So the Wranglers will have a first down when we return as they operate from their 48-yard line. We're still scoreless through one. Back with the second quarter. This is Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58. This is Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58. And in our next timeout, Brandon, we're going to try to go down to our 2J's Auto Sales sideline reporter. If he will keep his earphones on during the timeout, we'll try to work it out technically for him. Let's see if we've got him downstairs. Brandon, are you there?
Hi, Camden. We're going to talk a little bit about the Blue Ridge defense. This year, they're really based upon their linemen taking up blocks and the linebackers being able to run free. Well, Wickenburg can take their defensive linemen one-on-one because of their size, and so they're getting to that second level. Let's watch and see how the Blue Ridge Yellow Jacket linebackers are able to get off their blocks and make tackles. Back to you.
All right, thanks. As the Yellow Jackets, the Wranglers give it up inside, and the ball is carried out across the 45, inside the 45 to the Yellow Jacket 44. A big carry by McKeever there on first down to open up this second quarter. We're still scoreless, but it sure looks like the momentum's on the Wranglers side.
Yeah, and that line, that front five for Wickenburg is what's doing it for him. Just huge holes opening up for McKeever.
Wideouts left and right, and they send Ben Root in motion. Crosses the formation, and the pass across the middle to Alder. It's complete as a wide open Alder makes the catch. He's dropped across the 30 at the 29. A Market Street Mortgage first down for the Wickenburg Wranglers. They get a fresh set of downs in this opening paragraph of the second quarter.
And this is where Sterling Wise needs to mature right there. Hey, the guy caught the ball, Alder caught the ball, but you have got to make him pay when he comes over the middle, and Sterling just kind of caught him a little bit there, being kind of nice. You got to unload on him because you got to make him fear the next time he comes over the middle.
Wideouts, they send 2 to the right, 1 to the near sideline. Vaughn sets up under center with a single back in the backfield behind him. Hand it to him, it's McKeever. McKeever lowers his shoulder and fights his way down to the 25.
Steele Armstrong keeps going after the ball. He puts his arms around the ball, and instead of making the tackle, he allows the guy to go 3 more yards. Just pop him in the mouth, get him going backwards, and so he slows down and he's not quite so aggressive. You keep trying to go for the ball, he's going to just keep getting an additional 3 yards every carry instead of going chest to chest with him and trying to stop some of this momentum for the Wickenburg Wranglers.
Worry about the turnover second, get the tackle first. Wideout goes to the far side. It's Tyler Murphy, split out there with Ben Root. Wide receiver to the near side, single back in the backfield is McKeever. Vaughn rolls to his right here on second down, has a pass complete for a first down on the far sideline to his favorite target, Tyler Murphy, his second catch of the night. And he is driven out of bounds inside the 20 at the 17-yard line. Another Market Street Mortgage first down for the Wickenburg Wranglers.
And the thing that makes that play work for Wickenburg is that they controlled Jeff Baldonado at the line of scrimmage. He was on that side but didn't get any kind of rush. He allowed Vaughn just all kinds of room, and he found his speedy receiver Murphy, who had great separation on the cornerback Martinez. And they just can't allow that. I mean, that's just way too easy of a play for Wickenburg. That's pass and catch.
So a fresh set of downs inside the Yellow Jacket 20 for Wickenburg. Wideouts left and right, slots left and right, send Root in motion as the slot. He goes out as a wide receiver to the right side, and they do a counter. And it's sniffed out immediately by Steele Armstrong. Jeff Alder dropped for a loss of 1.
Well, and the difference there is you saw Steele. He went straight for the tackle, didn't worry about the ball. And this is how Blue Ridge is going to have to control this game, is not allow Wickenburg to get in the end zone. You don't have to you can get the ball back on downs. You don't have to get it back on a turnover. And let that penetration happen, swarm to the ball, and keep Wickenburg from getting those first downs.
The sun finally peering down behind the mountains, and we can finally see out on the field. And Vaughn on second down and 11 goes to the air. Left side has a man wide open in the end zone. Caught it at the 1-yard line, carries it in for the touchdown. And Paul Wells, the junior wide receiver for the Wickenburg Wranglers, who is 4th on the team in receiving, picks up his 4th receiving touchdown of the season and puts Wickenburg up 6-0.
Well, just a great touch on that ball by Vaughn. This is, obviously they throw that little fade pattern all the time, all season long. And just a great hookup there between Wells and Vaughn, and just, not close enough coverage there by the sophomore, Dustin Simmons, getting a little bit of an education there early in this game.
On to try the point after for Wickenburg is Derek Sievert. The place is down, the kick is up, and it is through, and it is good. So the Wranglers, with 9:25 to play, second quarter, lead it 7-0. We'll be back to Tempe High School right after this. This is Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58. So Paul Wells gets the 18-yard touchdown from Vaughn, and the Wickenburg Wranglers put a foot into this one. Jackets will have a returnable ball at the 17. Parkinson is...
What was he waiting? He was waiting for a special invitation from Wickenburg to go ahead and run?
He was waiting for his blockers, I believe, but looked like they were going to go straight up the middle. He got turned around and spun down at the 25.
Somebody forgot to tell Chance Thompson to wait, because he just kept coming and got Frank Parkinson before he ever even had a chance to get running.
Return of 18 yards.
First and 10, Yellow Jackets.
And the Jackets now on first down from their own 25 go to the air. Rolling to the right, throwing to Williams, or Williams catch to Martinez, and he doesn't catch it. They say he was out of bounds.
No, he was not out of bounds.
He had the reception. Let's go down to our 2J's Auto Sales sideline reporter, Brandon Juber. Brandon?
That right there is the value of a good head coach. He made that catch and got a...
And
he acted like he saw it. and the referee changed his call. He initially called it a catch. Coach got in his ear, called it incomplete.
All right, thanks, Brandon, as we continue to have our technical problems here
Something about this
today. And so it will go down as an incomplete pass. 2nd down and 10 for the Jackets from their 25. Williams hands it off left side, and
slow.
Parkinson is hammered at the line of scrimmage. Scott McKeever got him up high and missed the player down low, but McKeever sent him to the turf backwards.
Just things happening too slow. Frank Parkinson's taking forever, and not just Frank Parkinson. All the Jackets they're dancing around too much back there, looking for the hole instead of going to where they know it's going to be. And they're waiting for it to hope. It's just a timing issue, and they're not trusting that their linemen are going to create that hole, and waiting too long to get to the line of scrimmage.
Jackets on 3rd down and 10 send 2 wide receivers here to the near side of this formation. 2 men split in the backfield. Williams under center with the tight end to the left side. He takes a snap, rolls right, looking towards Martinez. Now fires over the middle, and it is caught for a Market Street Mortgage first down, and the reception made for the Yellow Jackets by Matt Boyd, the 6 foot, 163-pound sophomore with his 3rd reception of the season, and now has over 40 yards in receiving yardage. Matt Boyd picks up a Market Street Mortgage first down for the Jackets.
Yeah, big throw and catch there by Williams to Boyd, but the problem was Wickenburg lost where the chains were. They went too deep, and that allowed Blue Ridge to pick up that first down.
At the 37, Jackets trail by 7 here in this 2nd quarter. They hand it off right side, and Rosales picks his way through traffic, has yardage to the 45, and a good-looking move that time, good-looking run as the Jackets keep the Wickenburg Wranglers on their heels offensively here, and pick up about 8 yards, 7 yards on the carry.
He had a little help that time. Andy Chinnis doing a nice job walling down and creating a little bit of a lane there for Rosales to run through.
Martinez goes as the lone wide receiver out wide to the left, and they hand it off. No, it was Steele Armstrong who took the ball from Williams. Looked like it was the veer option that time. Armstrong held on to the ball, and it looks like it fell forward. I don't think Williams wanted to give it to him.
Yeah, I don't think he did either, but that's that option, and the running back is taught you take the ball until that quarterback physically takes it from you. So Williams might not have had a very good grip on it.
So the Jackets I believe it was a loose ball. They get back, and it's 3rd and 1 now from the from the Jacket 46, as the Jackets send a man in motion. It is Armstrong who gets the handoff here, but a procedure call.
What was that penalty for?
I think they're going to call Rosales, who came in motion and was bouncing along the sideline.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Left to right, and the back judge felt like he went forward a little bit.
The head referee called that.
He didn't even have an angle on it.
What? Yeah, what was he? I don't understand what the problem was.
It is a 5-yard penalty. Yellow Jackets back at their 41.
We'll have the pleasure of instant replay tomorrow to see what the problem was on that one.
Martinez comes in and gets the play late here as the Jackets go with a double tight set. Hand it to Rosales, who goes left side, and Rosales has not much there as he hits the line of scrimmage and gets a couple after the initial contact out across the 40 to the 44.
This will be an interesting decision by Coach Moore whether or not to punt or not, because middle of the field, actually in your own territory still, looks like they're probably going to go ahead and punt this away.
They have to punt it here. 6:16 to play here in this 2nd quarter. Wickenburg with a 7-0 lead, and the Jackets drive stymies just shy of midfield after a penalty. And Williams goes back to punt, stands at his 29-yard line, gets a good snap, hits this one fairly well, and end over ended. That's fielded at the 28. Jackets are there. Steele Armstrong came down and put him to the turf.
Well, that's the way Steele Armstrong needs to tackle every time, instead of worrying about that football, because he's a big, strong man, and that's what got Blue Ridge over the hump and provided them a little consistency defensively, is tackles like that by Steele Armstrong, because it becomes contagious to the rest of the Yellow Jackets, and they start putting their nose in there, taking care of business, and they're going to need that here. They're down 1 score. They cannot afford to go down 2.
5:53 to play. 2nd quarter, and they hand it off to Alder. Alder lowers his shoulder and fights his way across the 30-yard line to the 34. And big yardage on first down for the Wranglers as they go quick, heavy hitting. 7 yards in a cloud of dust between the tackles.
And the difference is, and you're going to see it on the film tomorrow, the difference is the speed at which Wickenburg is playing versus the Yellow Jackets. They're just getting a full head of steam, and they're just going. And the difference really is confidence. You know, Wickenburg being 10-0, not really being contested until last week, I think is the difference right now.
Tyler Murphy, the wideout for the Wickenburg Wranglers, comes to the near side. The hand to Alder. Alder hit in the backfield, and the Jackets make the stop. Initial man to hit him was Parkinson, I believe. Stephen Parkinson in on the stop, along with Michael Lundgren, the team's leading tackler for the Jackets. Forces the Wranglers into a 3rd down and 3.
Well, I would look to make sure you cover Tyler Murphy rather tightly. He's going to probably just run a little out pattern here, but you got to get pressure on Vaughn from that front 4 for the Jackets. Maybe send a blitz.
At the 34-yard line, the Wranglers have a 3rd and a long 3, call it 3rd and 4. They hand it off. Have huge room for the running back, Scott McKeever, who lowers his shoulder and fights his way for the first down and has it. A Market Street Mortgage first down as he put the pop on a defensive player for the Jackets.
Yes, he sure did. And again, that's just the difference, a different style. Wickenburg's being aggressive right now. Blue Ridge a little tentative. They're catching everything instead of delivering blows.
So they send wideouts. Left and right, slots left and right. Vaughn to throw on first down. Fires across the middle, has his man complete to Ben Root, and Ben Root catches it after a 9-yard catch reception. He leans forward to make it a 10, call it an 11-yard reception to the midfield stripe for another Market Street Mortgage first down.
And, Blue Ridge just doesn't look like they want this game. They're slow getting to the line of scrimmage. Jeff Baldonado barely even got off the ball that time. He kind of stood around and watched. And then Sterling Wise, again, did not come up to make the tackle. He just kind of sat there and watched. And the Wickenburg Wranglers just continue to move down the field.
Wideouts go left and right again for Vaughn with 2 slots and a single back behind him. They give it on the inside handoff to Alder. Alder with a hole open up near side, 30, 25, 20. Finally drugged down as he's tripped up here on the near sideline by Griffin Sturm, a touchdown saving tackle as Sturm was the last man to beat.
You know, watching the Jackets for the past 13 years, it's interesting because they're getting a chance to see themselves, but just not this year. Wickenburg just runs hard. Alder just blew by everybody that time. Nobody even really made much of an effort right there, and that's really been the story of the game so far.
First down and 10. Wickenburg lines up with a slot left, wide out left, give it off to Scott McKeever. McKeever carries inside the 20 to the 16, and the Jackets giving up huge yardage on first down here to give the Wickenburg Wranglers a 2nd down and 5.
Well, now Coach Vaughn is going to be concerned not only with scoring, but also trying to get rid of some of this clock for the half so the Jackets don't have an opportunity to score here in the first half. You don't want to leave them with any time.
Although Wickenburg seems content to come out of their huddle quickly here as they send 2 wideouts to the right, give it to McKeever, hit in the backfield and dropped at the 15. McKeever met at the line of scrimmage that time, pushed backwards, has forward progress for maybe an inch. The line of scrimmage was the 16. They will spot him at the 15.5 mark.
Well, I don't have a number for number 7, a name for number 71 for the Jackets. Oh, Spencer Ranstrom. He made that play because he just pushed his offensive lineman lined up over the top of him right in to the ball carrier McKeever, and that stopped McKeever from getting any kind of forward momentum.
3rd down and 5. Nose of the football at the Jacket 15. Pitch it out, left side to Alder. He gets misses, makes one man miss, then slides up inside across the 15 to the 14-yard line. Steele Armstrong in on the stop. And made a nice move in the backfield, but now that brings up 4th down.
And it looks like they're going to bring out the field goal unit. Got to credit Griffin Sturm. They were coming aggressively, but he never broke down. He just kind of flew right past the ball carrier with his head down. But luckily he had some help, and he slowed down the ball carrier enough for Armstrong to get there. So a bit of a mental victory here for the Jackets. A moral victory, I should say.
It's Derek Sievert on to try the field goal. The spot will be at the 20. This will be a 30-yard field goal. His longest is 40. but he is at the left hash as a penalty marker flies in. And we get a procedure called against Wickenburg, which is an odd call because they didn't have a chance to get set. They hadn't even, all the players hadn't even reached the line, so I'm not sure what that call was.
Well, that's a big break for the Jackets because now if for some reason there was a hard count and they went offsides, it would not give Wickenburg a first down.
So it is going to bring up a 4th down and 8, and Sievert stays on there. Derek Sievert stays on and will place this one at the 26, so it will be a 36-yard field goal from the left hash. Again, his longest is 40. He's 4 for 5 on the season in field goals. Here's the snap. The place is down. The kick is up. Plenty of distance. Is it square? It is not.
He missed it?
No good. And I don't see the indication to which way it went. Looked like it was good from our angle, but it is no good. So the Jackets dodge a bullet and we'll get the ball back inside their 20.
And Sievert trying to do a good job of acting there because he was run into, but I think they're going to say that the Yellow Jacket man was blocked into Sievert there on the follow-through. Boy, which way did Sievert miss that one? It looked pretty dang good from here.
I did not see it, but I'll tell you what, he's got a foot on him. He could have banged that one through from 50 yards out.
Yeah, that was a nice-looking kick.
And we'll see if we can, we'll check in with our 2J's Auto Sales sideline reporter in just a second here and see if we have good audio yet. Need to get our engineer on site.
Yeah, we don't have any.
Hondo Castaneda splits wide to the left side of the formation along with 2 other wide receivers, and the Jackets go straight ahead on first down. The give to Armstrong, who carries for a couple. Let's check in with our 2J's Auto Sales sideline reporter, Brandon Juber. Brandon?
Thanks, Camden. He missed that left. The other sideline was a little bit upset that not could have been running into, but actually roughing the kicker. And I think they had a case there, but Camden, you know how it goes. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Brandon. We continue to struggle with our...
It's been a bad setup the whole time.
With our wireless equipment here. Parkinson, off tackle left side, carries across the 25 to the 26.
Yeah. Coach Morrow has a bit of a luxury here because being down only 1 score, he doesn't have to try to get in the end zone right here. He may be content to just run this clock out and go into the locker room at halftime, make his adjustments, which everybody knows how good he is at that, and see if he can find an answer for the Wickenburg Wranglers.
And the clock winding to under a minute to play now. They trail 7-0. Wideout comes near side, double slot set, 2 men split behind Williams, gives straight ahead, and a hole opens up for Armstrong. He bangs his way through for a first down out to the 31.
Well, luckily for the Wranglers, Jeff Alder just had enough of the ankle to keep Armstrong from going because he had a lot of green in front of him if he could have broken that 1 tackle.
Clock's going to wind as soon as they set this as it stopped to move the chains. As it'll wind under 30 seconds here as Williams going to pass now. Fires across the middle. It is complete. And extra yardage after the catch for Sterling Weiss in Wrangler territory.
Well, now Coach Morrow may burn a timeout right here.
Across the midfield stripe. He's finally brought down at the 47. They will mark him back at the 48. A Market Street Mortgage first down. 22 seconds left to play here in this second quarter and a time called. We'll step away. Yellow Jackets want to talk it over? We will too. This is Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58. Welcome back to Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58. Williams on 1st and 10, going to throw after the timeout, and it's caught by Martinez on the far sideline. No. They say incomplete. Martinez came back for it and couldn't hang on to it at the Wickenburg 40-yard line. Scoring update for you, Winslow 12, Fountain Hills 0 early in the contest over at Mesa Community College.
Well, at least I called one of these 2 games, right? But, at this point, Coach Morrow might just want to send Sterling Wise to the end zone, and if they can get some protection for Williams, just throw it up there for a jump ball. Sterling Wise at about 6'2", 6'3", and good jumping ability may come down with one.
15 seconds left to play in the half. Jackets trail 7-0. Operate from the Wickenburg 48, 2nd down and 10. Williams drops to pass, looks over the middle, fires, and it's complete for a first down at the Wickenburg 35-yard line.
And the Jackets do have a timeout left. We'll see if they decide. Oh, looks like Wickenburg wants to call one.
It was Martinez on the reception, so we get a time called. We'll take one, too. We'll step away with 9 seconds left to play before half. It is the Wickenburg Wranglers 7, the Jackets nothing. This is Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country, 92.5 and cable, channel 58. This is Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5. Jackets with 9 seconds left after the timeout go to the air. Williams fires left side. They try the hook and ladder. Not a lot of room there. Parkinson tries to get around a couple of players. Cut it back inside, goes to the outside, flag thrown, and Parkinson finally brought down after he loses 2 yards. The reception was complete out at the 33. He is dropped down back at the 35. They give him forward progress to the 34.
Well, it wasn't a great pitch by Wise, but Parkinson just needs to go.
Go to the outside and see how far you can get. They tried to cut it back inside. Thought he could.
Face mask, though, is going to help out.
This should give him a first down, depending on the variety. If it's a 5-yard penalty, no. But
it will give him a first down, which doesn't matter. 1.9 seconds on the clock. They're going to take one shot at the end zone, and we've seen Blue Ridge have some success this year on about a 20-yard pass in the end zone. Look for them to take all the receivers to the right and bring Martinez back against the flow to the left and see if Williams can have the time to find him over the middle. If Wickenburg plays a prevent here, I think they're going to get scored. It's very likely they're going to get scored on. If I'm Wickenburg, I'm going to bring their linebackers right here and don't give Williams that opportunity. Oh, they're going to kick a field goal.
So the Jackets will bring on their field goal unit.
Fake it.
And Williams will set to hold. The place is going to be at the 26, and the Jackets are going to take too much time.
I don't know what the heck that was.
The official, but what I don't get.
12 men.
What I don't get is
12 men on the field.
Illegal participation against the Jackets.
Huh.
So 12 men on the field for the Yellow Jackets. And the sophomore Steele Armstrong comes off.
He finally figures out, oh, that's me.
And so much for the field goal. The spot was going to be back at the 26.
Bonilla still has a pretty good leg. Man, I would take a shot with a pass here.
26 would have been the spot, so it would have been a 36-yard field goal. Now the spot's back at the 31, so it's going to be a 41-yard field goal. And Francisco Bonilla on to try the field goal for the Jackets, who's 4 of 6 with a long of 33 this season. Puts the boot into it and nails it deep enough, and it's good. It goes through, so he bangs it through, and the Yellow Jackets get the field goal to in the half. So it is 7-3. The Jackets trail by 4 at halftime. We'll step away, back with our Horn Auto Center halftime show right after this.
Now here is your Cable One halftime report with Q Country's Camden Smith and Mike Grineal.
Welcome back to Tempe High School, and welcome to our halftime show as the Jackets trailing here at the half, 7-3. An interesting first half. As I don't think there was a lot of people in the state would have said this would be a defensive struggle at this point.
Well, I don't know so much it's a defensive struggle. It might be an offensive struggle is the problem. A lot of miscues, especially by the Jacket offensively. I just don't think they're playing aggressive enough. But, yeah, 7-3, I think the Jackets will feel fortunate to be only down 4.
Absolutely. We'll take a look inside the numbers with Mark Weech after this segment, but the numbers have got to heavily favor Wickenburg as they've been moving the ball up and down the field. They just haven't been able to punch the ball in.
Yeah, and, the Jackets have moved the ball at times, but then they've kind of shot themselves in the foot as well. Both teams are going to probably want to try to make some serious defensive adjustments. I think Wickenburg's going to try to do something to stop the pass because that's been the big play for the Jackets. And Blue Ridge on the other side, they got to stop number 20 from getting those big 9-10-yard gains.
Not a lot to talk about as we recap the first half. Only 2 scores in the first half as Wickenburg got it done on their second possession with 9:23 left to play in the second quarter. They cap off a drive that started with a short field, an 18-yard pass reception from Paul Wells from Vaughn, and the strike was good for the score. He caught it on the 1-yard line and leaned in for the touchdown for the 18-yard reception. The point after try was good, and Wickenburg led it with 9.5 to play second quarter, 7-0. The Jackets finally get on the board with 1.9 seconds left on the clock. They punch through a 41-yard field goal by Francisco Bonilla, and the Yellow Jackets here at the half trailing by 4, 7-3. We'll be back with more of our halftime show here on Q Country 92.5 for Cable Channel 58 viewers. The second half is coming up next. This is Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and Cable Channel 58. Welcome back to Tempe High School, round 2 of the state playoffs. The Yellow Jackets in quarterfinal action here tonight. The number 3 seed out of the East facing the number 1 seed out of the North in the Wickenburg Wranglers. The Wranglers undefeated on the season, 11-0, 6-0 in conference play, with wins over Santa Cruz Eloy, Northwest Christian, Scottsdale Christian, Australia Foothills, Chino Valley, River Valley. They beat up on Fountain Hills, and actually that game was a little bit closer than it should have been, which led a lot of people to believe that Wickenburg wasn't the real deal this season. A 26-12 win over Fountain Hills. Florence 52-8. Parker, they beat up on them pretty badly, 64-7. And Sedona 49-0, and Sarita was another one of those games where they got a bad rap for not beating a team that the folks felt they should have in handy fashion. They beat them, but only by a score of 21-12. So as you look at the scoreboard, and conversely, the Yellow Jackets beat Fountain Hills 25-6. So
first game of the season.
Yeah, first game of the season at Fountain Hills. You know, one of those things where you look at the scoreboard and you go, well, how evenly matched are these teams? And so far in the first half, at least by the scoreboard, looks like they're really evenly matched. It's just a 4-point difference, 7-3. This is Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and Cable Channel 58. As the Yellow Jackets will get set to kick the ball to start the second half here. Jackets wearing their road whites, as they are the visiting team here tonight, designated on this neutral field as the visiting team, coming as the number 3 seed out of the East with a 8-3 record overall, 4-2 in conference play. The Jackets defeated Snowflake to take the number 3 spot away from them, which a lot of folks felt like Snowflake had the easiest ride to this playoff, but it didn't turn out that way as they couldn't get around Winslow.
Yeah, and you know, Wickenburg hasn't really been tested a whole lot. Not much of a out-of-conference schedule to really test them. I'm not sure they'd finish number 1 in the South or the East, but they are no doubt a quality football team who have come to play, and that's the biggest difference. I think they've come to play more so than the Yellow Jackets have so far here tonight, but we still have another half of football to go. We'll see what happens.
Jackets, to start the second half, will work right to left on your radio dial as Francisco Bonilla puts a foot into it, hits a high end-over-ender, and this one will be drilled into the back of the end zone for a touchback. And on the season, Blue Ridge's Francisco Bonilla comes into tonight's contest with 23 touchbacks on the season. That is his 24th.
Yeah, he may be. If the Jackets could score more touchdowns when he was in, he might set some records for the amount of touchbacks. But no doubt he has plenty of leg, as we saw on that field goal to close the first half. But the Jackets are going to need a lot more than that to win this ballgame. Going
to be an 80-yard field now for the Wickenburg Wranglers as they start 1st and 10 and get set to go to work here to start the third quarter. They're up 7-3. Send a man in motion. It is Root. Come to the near sideline. Hand it off straight ahead. Jackets are there defensively, and they drop McKeever. As they hit him in the backfield, he has a couple of inches back to the 20. Nope, they mark him right at the 20, no gain.
Well, you know, this half I think it's going to come down to the battle between McKeever and Armstrong here. If I'm Coach Williams, the defensive coordinator for the Jackets, I'm going to tell Armstrong, wherever McKeever goes, you go. And just let those guys go head-to-head. And, you know, Wickenburg's going to try and block Armstrong. We'll see if they can get to that second layer.
Yellow Jackets line up defensively in a 5-man front here. And Wickenburg will go with the halfback pass, and it is caught at the 50, 45, 30, 25-20, 10-5 touchdown as Wickenburg on the tricky play to Tyler Murphy. The reception is good for a huge Wickenburg touchdown, and I believe it was from Jeff Alder. The hand to Jeff Alder, and then Alder goes deep downfield to Tyler Murphy.
I believe it was, and I don't know if Ryan Martinez is injured or not, but he sure didn't seem very fast on that play. Could not get hold of the fast Murphy, who went A long ways.
Almost looked like he thought that he had stepped out of bounds, like he gave up on the play. So Wickenburg will send Derek Sievert on to try the point after try, and 2 plays into this second half, Wickenburg extends their lead to 10. They can make it an 11-point game here with the point after try. The place is down, the kick is up, and it looks like it may have been blocked. Coming in from the left side of the line that time was Parkinson, and that, if that was Parkinson, it was Armstrong.
Well, that's a big block right there, Ken, because it keeps the score a touchdown and a field goal away from being tied up. Assuming Blue Ridge can convert if they happen to score a touchdown here tonight. But wow, talk about a big dagger.
We will step away. 11-12 to play here in the third quarter. Wickenburg up 13-3. Back after this. Welcome back to Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58. Sievertson hits a high one, fielded at the 24, out to the 30-35. Jackets with a big return to the 37, call it the 38-yard line, before the return man is finally brought down, and the Yellow Jackets will get great field possession on their opening possession.
Well, Jace Blackwell does a nice job of getting Parkinson from behind by the ankle. Otherwise, Parkinson looked like he was had thoughts of the end zone there, with a nice wedge set up there by the special teams of the Yellow Jackets.
So Wickenburg with the 80-yard pass reception from Alder to Murphy to put them up 13-3 here in the opening paragraph of the third quarter.
What in the world is he thinking?
Jackets go option left, and Williams is stopped in the backfield as I don't know where his pitch man ended up, but his pitch man wasn't anywhere near him.
Well, the problem is Mills was all over him so quickly. I don't even think he could have pitched, but just a bad read by Williams right there. Should have given that ball all the way on the option, and not the way the Yellow Jackets wanted to start this half.
Loss of 4, back to the Jacket 35-yard line where it's 2nd down and 14. Wide out to the far side of the formation. Go with the handoff straight ahead, and Armstrong stacked up at the line of scrimmage as he pushes his way forward but can't get much. Across the 35 to, the 35 to the 36, a gain of 1.
Well, too many white shirts missing right now for the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets, not hitting the purple jerseys that they're supposed to, and allowing a lot of penetration by the middle linebackers for the Wickenburg Wranglers. Kellen Henderson along with Ben Root.
Wide out to the far side of the formation in a double tight set. 2 men split in the backfield. Williams rolling to his right. In trouble. Now steps up, fires, and it's incomplete. Intended for Martinez on the far sideline. And he was in double coverage there, and the pass was thrown low anyway.
Well, I think he was pretty much just throwing that away, trying to get rid of it. The only guy who was going to catch that was going to be Martinez. And they're going to have to give the ball back to the Wranglers right here.
So you talked about that momentum, that control of the line of scrimmage. You felt like the Wickenburg Wranglers had that in the first half. It certainly appears to be that way, at least defensively on this opening drive for the Jackets, as the Wranglers went 2 plays, 80 yards for a touchdown to score on their second play of the second half. And the Jackets go 3 and out. They're going to punt it away, field it at the 30. And it is, Murphy who tries to pick his way through traffic. A penalty marker flies in at the 31. He has about 3 or 4 yards on the carry.
Well, they're going to call a block in the back on Alder against Ryan Martinez, but a pretty weak call. Not a lot of contact there. He did have his hands on him, but didn't really push him. He kind of laid off, and kind of a tough call there for the Wranglers.
Make it 3 yards on the return, and the Jackets will have an option here as Parkinson will talk to the officials about the situation to determine what the Jackets want to do. I'm sure they want to take them backwards.
Oh, yeah. They're going to need all the help they can get right now.
So the Jackets will push the Wranglers back to their 21, but that didn't make much of a difference when they started on their 20.
Yeah, that actually worked in Wickenburg's favor.
They have pulled out that one out of the playbook, the halfback pass, as the handoff was to Alder and the throw was to Murphy to give the Wickenburg Wranglers an 80-yard pass reception to open up this third quarter and give them a 10-point lead. They lead it 13-3 and have a new possession here their second of the half. They give it away, give it straight up the middle, and there's not much room there, and I'm not sure what
somebody riding a wave
was
there.
doing. McKeever jumped up over the top of the pile, but he didn't have the ball. They get a yard on the carry. It'll bring up 2nd and 9.
No, this is that same setup. We'll see. I have a feeling Ryan Martinez won't be biting on that one again, though, on the out and up by Murphy. But so far tonight, if you look at the battle of that matchup, I believe you'd have to say Tyler Murphy has won that one so far.
Murphy comes wide to this near sideline. They send the tight end to the left side of the formation, 2-man and I formation behind. Vaughn, the pitch is to Alder, and Alder tries to cut it back against the grain, gets to the 24-yard line, a pickup of 3. Call it 2 on the carry.
Good individual effort there by Alder just to get back to the line of scrimmage. A lot of penetration on that right side by Baldonado, and I believe Simmons came also on a corner blitz. Forced him back inside, but he does a good job to pick up a couple yards.
3rd down and 7 for Wickenburg. A big 3rd down play here for the Jackets defensively, as Vaughn's going to throw. Rolling to his right, fires, and it's incomplete as he led his receiver Murphy just a little bit too far to the outside. And it goes incomplete here on the near sideline, and Wickenburg will be forced to punt.
Well, another moral victory for the Jackets, but they're going to have some more real victories in order to get back in this game. I think Vaughn that time kind of doing the same thing Williams did on the last drive, just kind of throwing that ball away, and if his receiver Murphy happens to make a great play on it, great, but nobody's going to intercept that one. Good coverage that time by Martinez.
Frank Parkinson backs up to return this one. On punt returns on the season, he's returned 16 for 113 yards. His average is 7.1 yards per return. The punt is a wobbly nose-down spiral that takes a jacket bounce, actually, and Wickenburg downs it immediately at the 40-yard line. So, decent-looking punt and no return, and the Yellow Jackets will have it 1st and 10 at the 40.
I'm not sure what the answer is right here for the Jackets because they've tried almost everything and not a lot of success. Perhaps they should go maybe to a short passing game, go with some play action, get Brian Williams rolling out, and see if he can hit some guys down the field. He's done a great job this season of, if he's given time on the rollout, he finds guys in the middle of the field and usually completes those.
Wide out to the far side of the formation for the Yellow Jackets. Williams hands it off right side, and it is Jose Rosales this time across the 40 out to the 44, who carries for 4 yards.
Kellen Henderson coming over and making a nice tackle on Rosales, but that time Williams goes with the correct read. Gives it to Rosales. It seems like that end is going to be on contain all night, so Williams, I think, is going to have to be content to just give the ball on the dive every time on the veer option. 2nd
down and 6 from the Jacket, 44-yard line. Williams with play action. Fires across the middle, and it's incomplete. Threw it behind Sterling Weiss, his intended receiver. It was almost picked off, as Wickenburg had double coverage down the middle that time on Weiss.
Well, that's what I get for complimenting Brian Williams' ability to hit the guy in the middle of the field, as he missed Wise there by quite a few yards. Had Parkinson also, but just could not get outside.
Tough throw, though, rolling to his right, coming back across the grain to throw across the middle. As they send Sterling Weiss wide to the right side of the formation. 3rd down and 6. The Yellow Jackets with 2 men offset in the backfield in split formation. Slot comes in motion here to the near side. That's Simmons. And Williams to throw on 3rd down. Fires it to the right side, and this time it's caught by Sterling Weiss for a Market Street Mortgage 1st down as he runs that route perfectly. The defensive back was nowhere to be seen. He was playing way off.
Well, we saw that on another play. The Jackets picked up a 1st down. They're not aware of where that 1st down marker is. Jackets only needed 5 yards. You don't back up 10, and that's what Wickenburg got caught in right there. It allowed the 1st down for the Jackets.
1st down and 10. The Yellow Jackets had a bunch set up on that right side of the formation. They break it up, send a slot left, and wide receiver to the right side. 1st down and 10 in Wickenburg territory. Working from the 47. The give is straight ahead, nothing there. As Wickenburg stacks up the ball carrier that time for the Jackets. And it was Parkinson, I believe, on the carry. Doesn't go anywhere.
I tell you, that Wickenburg, the Yellow Jacket offensive linemen just getting absolutely no penetration. They're not able to drive the Wranglers off the ball. And the reason is poundage rights. You want me to explain that after this one?
I would like you to explain that. Second down and 11. Williams to throw. In trouble. Comes near side. Looks downfield. Fires back across the middle towards Hondo Castaneda. And cannot hook up. It looked like Weiss had become free deep downfield.
Yeah.
So
Williams didn't get a lot of chance to look downfield, though. Getting a lot of pressure from Dallas Mills there. But back to the poundage rights. The Jacket offensive lineman going, they have the center, Ian Candelaria, listed at 174 pounds, and I'm like, in his dreams. And just the Wickenburg Wrangler defensive line just weighs too much for the Jacket offensive lineman to get any drive off of them.
Wide out. One wide out to the right side of the formation along with a slot on that side. And Williams on 3rd and 11 from the Wickenburg 48. Fires it right side, and it's incomplete. No, caught. First down for the Jackets. Completion made by Sterling Weiss on the far side on a great catch for a Market Street Mortgage first down at the Wickenburg 36.
Well, I'll tell you, that's been a favorite target tonight for Brian Williams, is Sterling Weiss. It'd be good for Jacket fans if the two could hook up deep one time and get into the end zone. But a good drive so far, sustained by the Yellow Jackets. Got to mix in the run a little bit, though, to keep this going.
Jackets will bring the slot left, double tight set, 2-man split behind Williams on 1st down and 10. Jackets jump off sides.
I think the center forgot that one because almost the entire offensive line took off. And
how do you forget?
As a center?
Yeah, how does that happen?
I don't know. I might be able to tell you, but not on air.
I can understand snapping the ball on the first sound instead of second. We're going to go on 1. We're going to go on 2. Usually you go on 1. So you say, okay, we're going to go on 2 this time.
And he goes on 1.
And he goes on 1. I can see that, but I can't see him hanging on to it when it's on 1. First down and 16 for the Jackets. 1st and 15, rather. 2 wide outs. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Pass caught by Parkinson across the middle and inside the 30-yard line, close to a Market Street Mortgage first down. Penalty marker thrown by the line judge on the far side.
I didn't see anybody move, but who knows? Great catch, though, over the middle by Parkinson, reaching back and one-handing that one to pull that in. And that's where he's dangerous, if you can hit him in stride in the open field.
And it is a procedure call against the Jackets. So it will negate the pass and catch to Parkinson.
If it's a procedure call, why did they allow the play to go?
They've been doing that this year. I failed to ask the officials, but we've seen that quite a few times where they either maybe it's a formation. I don't know that they don't like it. That used to be a dead ball.
Our down marker guy too. He kind of sucks.
Why do you say that?
Well, it looked like 1st and 16 when we know it had to be 1st and 15, right?
Right.
5-yard penalty.
Right. And it was because he had the stick lined up.
And now, see, he's too far. It's like 21 yards, and it should be 20.
He's just off kilter a little bit.
He can't that's where the ball is, though.
Can't quite eyeball the football very well. Jackets, after the penalty, will have it back at the Wickenburg 47-yard line.
Happy hour got in the way.
And Williams to throw on 1st down in the zip code. Comes near sideline, wide open, caught at the 20, and the ball.
He caught it.
Who caught it? Was
Justin
it tipped?
Simmons. Matt Boyd had it. He took the shot from number 3 for the Wranglers, Sheldon Murphy, and Dustin Simmons stayed with it and caught that ball on the rebound. But tell you, Boyd had it, but let it go.
Market Street Mortgage first down for the Jackets inside the 20 at the 15.
That's a big break for the Jackets.
Jackets with a huge first down conversion, and the reception will go down to Dustin Simmons. Or are they will they rule that Matt Boyd had the reception and it was a fumble, or is it
he never had
Simmons on the reception?
He never had it. So Wickenburg this is big for Wickenburg. They have to make sure and keep the Jackets out of the end zone.
Timeout on the field. We'll take 1, 2. 5:37 to play here in the third. Jackets trailing 13-3. Back after this. Welcome back to Tempe High School. This is Cellular One's presentation of high school football. The state playoffs here on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58 as the Yellow Jackets 1st and 10 inside the 20 at the Wickenburg 15-yard line. Send a man in motion, 2 men split behind Williams. The give is to Parkinson off tackle right side. He bounces it to the outside, but not much there. Picks up a couple, maybe 3 yards to the 12.
Well, not a very nice spot. Look, I thought Parkinson got up around the 10, but nonetheless, 2 yards. They'll take 2 yards. Steele Armstrong getting a bit of a rest on the offensive side of the ball as Rosales and Parkinson have had most of the running duties here in this drive.
2nd down and 8. The Jackets go double tight ends again. Slot right is Simmons. And penalty markers thrown. And
I mean, I'm not seeing this at all.
And a procedure called again. Procedure call again against
that one they blew dead.
Yeah, they blew that one dead. I don't know. We'll have to check with an official to find out what the ruling is.
Huh. But I'm just not seeing the movement. I don't know if it's a back leaning maybe or something, but I'm not seeing the movement on the line of scrimmage.
So 2nd down and call it 13. As the football back to the 19-yard line. Wickenburg 19. Williams to throw, play action, steps up, and he's going to be dropped. But he gets back to the line of scrimmage as a penalty marker flies in. Penalty marker flies in at the point of contact and a hold call against the Jackets. So that'll mark him back 10 yards. They don't need that.
Yeah, they're going in the wrong. They're sniffing that end zone, but they're going in the wrong direction here. The only good thing is it remains 2nd down. But I might take a crack at the. You need a field goal anyway, so you don't want to take yourself out of field goal range here. But take a crack right here on 2nd down and see if you can throw one up to Sterling Wise in the end zone or near the end zone at least, and give yourself a chance on 3rd down to pick up the 1st down. And if you don't get it, then you still have the leg of Francisco Bonilla to try to get you to within 1 score again. That missed extra point by the Wranglers really could come back to haunt them here.
So the Jackets all the way back to the Wickenburg 30-yard line now, have a 2nd down and 23 to convert here. Williams, play action, rolls right, now flush to the left, fires down towards the corner of the end zone on the near side, and he overshoots Martinez, who was open.
Yeah, he kind of panicked a little bit on that one. Wasn't getting a lot of pressure when he actually threw the ball and had Martinez wide open, along with Brian Denton in the back of the end zone.
So the Jackets, now that's not where the spot was before. It was at the 30. Now it's at the 31. They lost a yard now.
Maybe that's the problem. They keep they keep losing yards here without ever doing anything.
So it's the ball was on the 30. Now it's on the 31. So it'll be 3rd down and 24 now for the Jackets. And Williams deep, sets up the screen, goes to Parkinson right side, has blockers, out to the 25.
That is not a penalty.
20,
why is that a penalty?
He is dropped at the 20-yard line as the pile collapses in on top of him. 2 flags fly in at the 28.
That is a horrible, horrible call. That was not a penalty at all. They called it. They're going to call it on number 58 for the Jackets, Justin Webb, but he hit the guy square in the face.
They're calling it a block in the back.
If they decline it, why would they decline this? They're declining it. Wow. The ball's going to be at the 20-yard line. That allows Bonilla, definitely within range, to kick a field goal here.
So we'll see if he does. Francisco Bonilla comes in. That is an interesting call. I don't think the Wickenburg Wranglers realize that Francisco Bonilla can hit this field goal.
Well, he hit the 41-yarder to end the half. This is only going to be a 37-yarder.
So Bonilla on to try the field goal, as it is 4th down and about, call it 4th and 15 at the 20.
Bonilla's direction, though, is always the X factor.
At the 27-yard line. Going to go down as a 37-yard kick. Bonilla, high snap. It's handled well. It's down. The kick is up, and
Looks
it is
good.
Good. Wide to the right. Had plenty of distance, but as you said, Mike, the direction was the problem. So with 4:05 to play here in the 3rd, we'll keep it here. The Jackets still trailing by 10, 13-3. This is Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and Cable Channel 58. The Jackets will give the ball back to Wickenburg with an 80-yard field.
Well, and, Wickenburg probably dodged the bullet right there. The Jackets had a pretty good drive right there, but came up a couple of yards short.
Double slot, single back in the backfield to give us to him. It's McKeever, has a hole, 30. Makes a man miss at the 32, now to the 35, 40, near sideline, midfield 50, up the sideline to 40, going to be knocked out of bounds at the 36. Call it the 35-yard line. Huge run for McKeever, and McKeever making people look pretty silly out there.
I mean, that looks like junior high tackling out there by the Jackets, putting their head down, throwing their arms out there, trying to stop one of the better backs in the state. It's just not going to get it done.
McKeever with a huge run on first down from the 20-yard line out to the 35 of the Yellow Jackets.
That's a 45-yard.
45 yards on the run as they send Murphy wide to the left side of the formation. Slot right, tight ends left and right. Send Root in motion, hand to McKeever again. They
just put their head
hit
down
at the line of scrimmage, but he bulls his way forward. Steele Armstrong in on the stop along with Stephen Parkinson on that left side of that line.
I'm going to probably start getting upset here soon.
I don't know why.
Yeah, because that's horrible. You can't just put your head down. McKeever, great ability to start and stop, and just makes people miss when they put their head down. You can't do that. You got to keep that head up. I mean, I know they do form tackling every day.
I think you got to give him credit though here. I mean, they stopped him after a gain of 2.
That was luck.
No,
his own offensive lineman, I think, got in his way that time.
All right, so 2nd down and 8. Wide receivers left and right, double slot set, and the pass that flies over the intended receiver. The ball is actually going to end up a penalty marker, and they blow this one dead.
Yeah, that still begs the question of why the one on the other side wasn't blown dead. But who knows? Who knows?
3:07 to play in the 3rd quarter. Yellow Jackets trailing by 10, 13-3. And after the procedure call, the Wranglers back to the Yellow Jacket 38, where it's 2nd down and 13. They send Murphy and Root wide to the left side of the formation. 2 men split behind Vaughn, and Vaughn goes play action. No, he's in trouble. That was not designed. It looked like he was going to do the play action boot to the near sideline, and it just looked like the runners in the run. His backfield didn't know where they were going.
Yeah, McKeever and Vaughn having some issues. They even bumped shoulder pads there. That's like TO stuff, isn't it?
Alder and McKeever both blew by Vaughn. Neither of them thinking that it was their turn to carry the ball. And Vaughn was left naked in the backfield and dropped for a huge loss back to the 45. Trips left this time, hand to McKeever. Off tackle left side. He carries a tackler with him across the 40, inside the 40-yard line to the 37.
Well, interesting here. They're a little short to punt, although they might give it a shot here and see if they can punt one up in the air. But Hondo Castaneda with a fairly good tackle there, but McKeever just continues to make people look slow and silly out there. You know, part of the thing is that the Wickenburg Wranglers go on a quick snap every time. It's on contact with the quarterback and the center, and that's really helping them get off the line of scrimmage a lot quicker than the Jackets.
Wideouts go left and right, 2 slots. And to pass is Vaughn, comes near sideline, incomplete, and his receiver didn't help him out.
Wow.
As that was a catchable ball for Paul Wells, the number 4 receiver on the team in total yardage on the season. Paul Wells has caught 10 balls, but that one just out of his fingertips. Almost looked like he had alligator arms out there.
And credit Sterling Wise. Vaughn does a nice job of looking to his left, then coming back to Wells on his right side. But Sterling Wise, not fooled, stayed over the top of it and was right there on top of Wells. Dustin Simmons had been fooled a little bit, but the pass incomplete nonetheless.
So the Jackets will send a wide receiver to the far side of the formation and go with double slots, single back behind Williams. That is Rosales, the slot in motion, who crosses the formation. They hand it off right side to Parkinson, to Armstrong, who gets up over the top of a defender at the 40 and falls forward to the 43-yard line.
Well, they're going to call a hold. How do you call a hold when you have just bodies being on the ground? You don't have time to hold.
I don't think the Jackets have been penalized this much all season.
Yeah, this has been crazy.
So the holding penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the infraction, and it marches instead of a good 4 or 5 yard carry for Armstrong on first down. It'll negate the carry and bring the Jackets back to the 30-yard line. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the infraction.
Here comes some play action right here. Williams going to try and pass one, I think.
First down and 19 from the Yellow Jacket 30-yard line. Rosales is the slot to the left side, 2 tight ends. Williams, play action, sets up the screen here to the near side, and it's incomplete, and he just barely gets it away as it's batted down.
I'll tell you, Dallas Mills has been a standout player tonight on the defensive side of the ball. He's been all over the field, deflecting that pass, but also making a lot of key tackles, good speed, getting into that backfield.
We talked about Flint Miller's abilities defensively for Wickenburg, but like you say, it's been Mills who's really disrupted things. Second down and 19 now for the Jackets from their 30-yard line. They go trips left, single receiver out wide to the right side of the formation, and one back in the backfield. To give his to that back, it is Rosales, I believe, who spins out of one tackle at the 35 and then falls forward to the 43. Excuse me, to the 38-yard line, and a penalty marker flies in.
Going to be an inadvertent face mask, I believe. I don't think it's going to be the 15-yard variety, which will help the Jackets. They'll get down into a reasonable third down situation, maybe a 3rd down and 4, where Wickenburg isn't quite sure they're going to run the ball and they're going to pass the ball. The way Wickenburg has covered 3rd down situations, though, I would expect the Jackets to go with some kind of a quick hitting play in order to pick up this first down.
We've got a scoring update for you. This scoring update's brought to you by Little Caesars, home of the $5 pizza. And right now, Winslow 20, Fountain Hills 7, late in the 3rd quarter. So Winslow appears to be doing well against Fountain Hills, although not as well as some people predicted. Second down and 4. Wide out to the near side of the formation, slot right. Williams hands it off straight ahead, and a hole opens up for Parkinson. He fights his way forward across the midfield stripe for a Market Street Mortgage first down.
Well, the Jackets have found a little bit of new life here on this drive. Those penalties, one hurt them, one helped them, though. But they're gaining big yards. The penalty brought them back, but they're doing a good job, a lot better job controlling the line of scrimmage. And did you see the way Frank Parkinson ran the ball that time? No dancing around. He went forward hard and fast, and that is the biggest difference.
And the clock will wind down to end the 3rd. No, they call timeout just before. No, they do let it wind down. So the end of the 3rd quarter. The Wickenburg Wranglers 13, Jackets 3. When we return, Jackets will have it in Wickenburg territory at their 49 with a 1st and 10. We'll be back after this. This is Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58. The Yellow Jackets trailing here 13-3, an unfamiliar position for them. The Jackets, after dropping their dropping 3 out of their first 4 games, finished the season with 8 wins. And here to start the 4th and final quarter, they give it to Parkinson, and Parkinson grinds out some yardage on the ground. The Jackets had it 1st and 10 from their 49 and now have it 2nd down and 7 from the 46. Williams to throw, and this one's batted down. As a defensive end got up in the air that time.
Guess who?
For Wickenburg to knock it down. And tell you, the Wranglers having a heyday out there is Dallas Mills, who's 6th on the team in rushing. He's the backup quarterback, 5th on the team in tackles, 3rd in sacks, has 3 interceptions, and that time he bats the ball down, almost had another interception.
Yeah, he sure did. Great. He's been playing great all game.
So the Jackets will send a man in motion. That's Martinez, who crosses the formation. And the handoff goes off tackle right side. Parkinson, hole opens up, slips through one tackle, and had one man to beat, but he's drugged down from behind. McKeever drags him down, but not before he gets a Market Street Mortgage first down. to the Wickenburg 25.
Well, Camden, I mentioned coming out of the half that I thought that this game rested on the shoulders of Frank Parkinson, and so far he's answered the call on the last couple carries. He's done a great job of just running forward, running north-south.
1st and 10, Jackets on the move. At the Wickenburg 25, they send a man wide to the left, slot left. 2 men split behind Williams. Williams hands it to Steele Armstrong. 2nd man through on the left side. He's drugged down. Small opening on that left side, closed quickly. Has a yard, maybe 2, to the 23.
And Frank Parkinson getting a little rest here. And they're going to bring him back in here, though. And Steele Armstrong hasn't had a whole lot of carries here lately.
Got one there. He only gets, actually, they only give him a yard, I believe.
Yeah, he did get stood up pretty well at the line of scrimmage.
So we get a timeout for equipment on the Wickenburg Wranglers side of the ball. Wranglers in their purple and gold, black pants, purple jerseys, gold numerals. Familiar colors for Yellow Jacket fans who are dressed in their road whites with purple pants, white jerseys, and purple numerals trimmed in gold with yellow hats. Williams on 2nd down and 9. Fake the handoff, goes to the air, fires, and it's incomplete. Big stick that time by Ben Root to knock it away from Ditton, who had the reception made and couldn't hang on to it.
Well, I'll tell you, these Wickenburg Wranglers, they come to play, and that's the mark of a good team is how much contact are you willing to dish out. And they've been all over the field popping people left and right here and have really dictated the pace, the tempo, and the physicality of this game up to this point.
3rd down and 11. Excuse me, 3rd and 9, rather. Yellow Jackets send Sterling Weiss as the tight end to the far side of the formation. Slot to the left. 2 men split behind Williams. Now Martinez comes in motion and goes to the wide receiver on the near side. Williams play action. Now turns left side. It is caught.
There.
20 to the 10, 5. Touchdown Parkinson as he dives into the end zone to score. The Yellow Jackets score it from 24 yards out, and they cut the lead to within 4.
Well, and I tell you, there he is again. But the difference on that play, Camden, is the fact that Brian Williams threw that ball in a position where Parkinson didn't have to reach for it. He could catch it and go. Had 3 white jerseys out in front of him, and no purple jerseys. The only man who could have made a play was Murphy, but he got blocked right at the last minute, and that allowed Parkinson to dive in, and Blue Ridge finally getting into the end zone.
Well, they finally got the screenplay to work as the Wickenburg Wranglers were biting on all the play action to the right side of the field. Williams rolling to his right, then turns, fires to the left side of the field where the screen was set up, and there was nobody there as Parkinson carries it 24 yards for the score. On to try the PAT is Bonilla. Bonilla punches it through, and the Yellow Jackets cut the lead to within 3, 13-10. We'll return. The Jackets with 10:04 left to play in the 4th quarter, trailing by 3. We'll be back with Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58 right after this. Welcome back to Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58. Another scoring update for you. This one, well, we'll get to it in a second, as the Jackets will kick off after the touchdown. Bonilla puts a foot into it. A line drive at the Murphy has trouble fielding at the 7. Now picking his way through traffic to the 5 as he stutter steps his way up to the 20 and out to the 22 before he's brought down. But, well, he took a lot of time back there, not only with the drop ball, but then dancing around back there. They give him forward progress to the 21, where the Wickenburg Wranglers will have a 79-yard field to work with here with 9:57 to play and up by 3 points.
Well, 2 things that Wickenburg has to do right here is sustain a drive so that it eats time off the clock, and then put some points on the board, because that would force the Yellow Jackets to at least get a touchdown.
Scoring update for you: Wickenburg 26, or excuse me, a Winslow 26, Fountain Hills 7. Midway through the 4th quarter, Vaughn completes a pass and out to the 30 with room to the 40. Makes one miss, another man miss midfield. He could go 40, 35, 30, 20, 25, 10. Touchdown Wickenburg, and the Jackets just blow it defensively.
Well, and it's the bottom line is poor tackling. This is one of the poorest tackling teams I've seen. I don't know how many guys had a chance at McKeever right there, at least 3, and they just didn't come up with it. And the other problem is they just don't have anybody with the speed to run him down. And McKeever's got good wheels and a great execution right there by Wickenburg on the screen. They say, well, you can run a screen pass for a touchdown. We can run a screen pass for a touchdown as well.
They ran that screen right across the middle of the field. And McKeever blew through some tackles to get to the house, 79 yards for the touchdown. And they bring on Sievert for the point after try. This one, he looks like he's got under it, but he still got it, and it's good. So Wickenburg up 20-10 now. After the Jackets had cut the gap to 3, it's now a 10-point lead for Wickenburg with 9:40 to play fourth quarter. We'll step away. This is Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and Cable Channel 58. Jackets had cut the lead to 3, trailing 13-10, and on the ensuing possession, the Wickenburg Wranglers go 79 yards to give them that 10-point margin back again with 9:40 to play here in the fourth quarter. The kickoff filler to the 15, to the 20, 25, out to the 30. Parkinson slips through a couple of tackles, arm tackles, and gets out to the 31, where the Jackets will have it there to see if they can drive the field again. Offensively, they've worked okay, but they've given up the big play tonight, and that's what's killed them. 2 big plays in the second half to give Wickenburg the 10-point lead, and they lead it now 20-10.
I don't know if the Jackson can come back from that one after having all the momentum, a 3-point, only down 3, and then just to give up on the first play a touchdown to Wickenburg. I'm not sure if they can recover.
Jackets will send a wide out to the far side of the formation, and 2 tight ends line up with 2 setbacks behind Williams on 1st and 10 from their 31. The handoff, give it right side, and Rosales, who danced around in the hole, got licked and pushed backwards as he paid for it. Instead of going straight forward, he stutter stepped at the 30. By the time he got to the 31, he had been knocked backwards. They give him forward progress to the 32.
Yeah, Josh Amaral made him pay for his little 2-step there. And Parkinson's not going to stay in the ballgame. He's going to have to be the guy, I believe, here again in the fourth quarter to get the Jackets back on the board.
Weiss and Martinez are wide to the far side of the formation, slot left. The handoff to Rosales. Rosales fighting his way out across the 35 to the 36. It's decent yardage here, but the Jackets will face a 3rd and long again. And they actually mark him back at the 35.
Wow.
So 3rd down and 5 now for the Yellow Jackets. Call it 3rd and 6.
Yeah, Jackets not getting a whole lot of help here from the officials tonight. But I'll tell you, look for the quick slant pass to Sterling Wise over here on the far sideline.
Williams and Martinez again wide to the left side of the formation, slot left. And they hand it off to that slot and came back inside.
That was not good.
That was Parkinson, and Parkinson hit at the line of scrimmage. Fights his way forward for a couple of inches. No, back at the 35. Yeah. No gain on the play. In fact, maybe lost a couple inches.
Yep, Flint Miller in there. I don't know if the Jackets can afford to punt here. I think they're going to, but I don't think they can afford to punt.
I think you have to, though, with
you got to have 2 scores there, and you can't stop Wickenburg.
That's the big issue.
Might as well go for it.
And Williams drops back to his 20, and Wickenburg is not going to put anybody back. And now a whistle. And the Jackets want to call timeout here. So it looked like, I don't know if they had the fake on in that situation, Mike, but Wickenburg didn't like Wickenburg thought that they were going to go for a fake because they didn't put any back. They didn't have the punt and cover team on.
Yeah, no, they brought their linebackers. They brought their linebackers up to stop what looked like to be a fake, and I think that's when Blue Ridge decided, hey, this may not work out so well. But the nice thing is, if your punter's your quarterback, I mean, that's like the most time Williams will have all season when he's 15 yards back there to punt. He might be able to find a receiver.
So 7 minutes, 40 seconds left to play fourth quarter. And after the Yellow Jacket timeout, they will face a 4th down and 6. trailing by 10, 20-10. Wickenburg will look for options here.
Yeah, they're still not going to honor that punt.
They just haven't had much to look at. Wickenburg still in a defensive set. They have a five-man front with 2 linebackers, a 5-2 look. Williams from his 20 gets the punt away. And this one is going to bounce and take a Wickenburg bounce, now a Yellow Jacket bounce, back to the 33. So with no one back there, there's no return, and Wickenburg will have the ball 1st and 10 from the 33.
And they don't have to put anybody back there because the clock is their enemy right now. They actually might want this long field so they can burn more clock. They're going to run the ball. The Jackets are going to see a lot of McKeever right here, along with a couple of Jeff Alders mixed in, just to try to get this clock to around 3-4 minutes if they can, and force the Jackets to do some miraculous things in order to get 2 scores.
7.5 to play here in this 4th quarter. Wickenburg from their 33, call it their 32, have it 1st and 10. Hand it off, and the Jackets are there on 1st down. The give to McKeever, and McKeever with maybe a yard, and Stephen Parkinson with the tackle.
Yep, Stephen Parkinson there. And, at this point now, the Jackets may have to think about turnovers and try to get a little bit more of a strip, but they got to go, chest to chest with McKeever first, stand him up, and then allow the second guy to come in and try to put a helmet on the ball. It's the way you practice it.
At the 34, 2nd down and 9. Wickenburg going to try to go to McKeever, who goes off tackle left side, has some room. Gets out to the 40-yard line before he's dumped, and a big hole out there for him to run through. Jackets are able to get to him quickly once he gets into the secondary, but he picks up huge yardage here and gives the Wickenburg Wranglers a 3rd down and 2.
Well, we're going to get a chance to see what kind of coach Vaughn is right here. On 3rd and short, the 1st down will be a huge pickup. And conversely, for the Yellow Jackets, they need a big stop to try to get this ball back. And it'd be interesting to see if Coach Vaughn decides to go to the air on 3rd and short.
Wickenburg wide out to the far side of the formation. Tight end to the left side. Jackets showing blitz here. And the handoff
I don't think he got
is to McKeever, I believe.
And that's a great spot.
He gets out to the 42, 43-yard line. This is going to be very close.
I think he got it. I mean, he slid the last yard, and they gave him the and you know what? All these good plays seem to be happening on the Wickenburg side of the field. Imagine that.
5:53 to play, 4th quarter. Jackets trail by 10, and they're going to need some help.
Well, they didn't get it right there. They do a decent job of stopping McKeever, but I don't think it was enough. I think he's got the 1st down.
You think Wickenburg, let's say they don't have it. Did they go for it? No, they got it.
Doesn't matter.
Mute point. By half the length of the football, Wickenburg with the 1st down, and had the officials.
I think if they wouldn't have made it, I think they would have been content to go ahead and punt it away. And because Jackets got to have two scores.
They have confidence in their defense.
Oh, sure. Their defense has done the job tonight.
But they should. The problem I see from a coaching standpoint is with so much confidence on your offense, it's hard not to want to go for it on 4th down,
true.
even though it's probably not the best decision.
That's true.
1st down and 10. Wickenburg from their 43. Handed off right side, and Jeff Alder, after being hit in the backfield, squirts free for a yard to the 45.
And obviously Wickenburg has been in this position before. They bring in Big Flint Miller, the defensive standout, to kind of be a 3rd back there to lead the way for Alder and McKeever. And the Jackets have got to hunker down a little bit, get those 4 front linemen to just stay low and create a pile. Don't allow any lanes for McKeever to run through. And then, of course, the next thing that has to happen is you have to be able to tackle. And that has been a weak spot for the Jackets so far tonight.
So the football at the 45 and a 2nd down and 9 for Wickenburg. Pitch it out here near side, and nice open field tackle as Jeff Alder couldn't turn the corner. And the Yellow Jackets, Griffin Sturm, doing a good job from his corner position on the right side.
But it's not over yet. You got to come up with one more big play right here on a third down stop. I think there's no doubt that they might go to the air this time. Got to always be wary of the screen pass, have somebody spying on that back as he comes out of the backfield.
3rd down and 9. Wickenburg will send Murphy wide to the far side of the formation. Slot lines up on the right side. 2 men split behind Vaughn. They hand it off, and the Jackets are there. As the running back gets to the 50-yard line, midfield stripe, McKeever on the carry. And he had some good yardage, but not enough for a first down. It'll bring up 4th down and 4. Call it 4th and 3. Hondo Castaneda in on the stop for the Yellow Jackets, and the Wranglers will be forced to punt here, and the Jackets with 3 minutes, 53 seconds, and the clock rolling.
Well, I wouldn't be
2 scores.
I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Bergman got instructions to not kick the ball anywhere near Frank Parkinson on this, because ideally for the Jackets, a touchdown here would be pretty nice.
Parkinson's returned 2 for touchdowns in the season. And a good wobbly punt drives Parkinson back to his 9. And now back to his 5, looking for a block. Gets to the wall at the 10, 20, 25, 30, and will be knocked down at about the 34-yard line. And a flag thrown. I don't see the penalty marker, but they...
Something flew. I'm not sure what it was.
And Wickenburg with an injured player down at the 5.
Yeah, that's Murphy. Sheldon Murphy instead of Tyler Murphy, but he got caught in the picket.
Sheldon Murphy, the sophomore wide receiver who's 3rd on the team in receiving, down on the field.
Personal foul against Wickenburg, going to add 15 yards. Not quite a touchdown, but the Jackets will take it.
Jackets with 2 men split behind them, behind Williams, and 2 men wide to the near sideline. Williams takes the snap, handed off to Parkinson. Parkinson tried to cut it back inside as Dwight Boyd laid a block for him, but he got tripped up as he crosses the midfield stripe. And the ball marked at the Wickenburg 49.
What is the official doing?
There is now the Jackets go with a no huddle. Williams to throw on 2nd and 8. Steps up, fires across the middle, and it's caught by Martinez, but Martinez, anticipating the hit, fell down at the 35.
Yeah, and, the official's not in any hurry here to get the Jackets going.
So a Market Street Mortgage first down for the Jackets to the Wickenburg 35-yard line. They go trips right. Single back offset in the backfield is Rosales, I believe. Williams to throw here. Rolling to his right. Looks downfield. Fires. Caught by Weiss.
It's a race.
At the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Corner of the end zone. Touchdown. Sterling Weiss will score it for the Yellow Jackets. And the Jackets can cut the pull to within 3 again here with a good PAT and 2:38 remaining on the game clock.
Go for 2. I say go for 2.
Really?
I say go for 2.
But if you miss,
game's over. But
I don't think you can go for 2 here. You've got to go for the PAT.
When you're the underdog, you got to go for the win.
Got to make some things happen.
You got to go for the win, and right now Jackets are. I mean, it's not bad to play for the tie. You've obviously done a lot better job in the second half than you did in the first half. But a great play there by Sterling Wise and Williams to find him.
On to try the PAT is Francisco Bonilla. Good snap, places down by Williams. Bonilla boots it up and through. And Bonilla remains perfect on the season in PATs and pulls the Jackets to within 3. The scoreboard reads Wickenburg 20, Yellow Jackets 17 with 2:38 to play in the fourth quarter. We'll step away and be back right after this. Welcome back to Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58. As the Yellow Jackets tee it up here after the Sterling Weiss touchdown. 2:38 left on the game clock.
10-4, gotcha.
And they go for the onside, but they kick it a little bit too far. And Wickenburg was playing back, looking for the deep kick. Would have been a well-executed one, but unfortunately for the Jackets, Wickenburg has the football at the 46. where they will take over, and the Jackets will need a defensive stand.
Drew McIver on the coverage there for the Wranglers. Does a nice job. Boy, Bonilla almost kicked that one too hard, and it got to McIver too quick. You know, that's tough, though. I'm sure Bonilla doesn't get to practice that a whole lot. But the Jackets going to have 2 timeouts to use. But more importantly, they got to keep Wickenburg from scoring. They cannot worry about the strip here because that could allow McKeever, to pick up first downs.
20-17. Jackets trailing by 3. Wickenburg with the football will try to burn the time off the clock. Here's the handoff.
Wow, they go with a counter?
And it is not going to work here as the Jackets are there defensively. And they will stack it up in the backfield. And Jeff Alder on the carry loses 1.
Long developing plays are dangerous right now for the Wickenburg Wranglers because, you know, the Jackets have adrenaline. They're playing with speed. They're coming after the ball. And, you know, that's just a dangerous play. I just give it to McKeever. He's your guy. He's the guy that's going there. But you just lost a yard and a play there. Jackets are going to call timeout after 2nd and 3rd down, I'm assuming, and hopefully try to bring up a punt. They won't kick it to Parkinson this time.
Lord's Feed and Fence scoring update for you. 2 minutes left in the game. Winslow up 26-14 over Fountain Hills. And we get penalty markers thrown here and a procedure. Delay a game. Delay a game against Wickenburg with 1:51 left to play. So the Jackets could have an opportunity here to keep their hopes alive in this 2006 season.
Well, the last thing the Wickenburg Wranglers want to do is put themselves in a passing situation. I'm sure they're not going to even entertain those thoughts, but they have to make sure and cover up the ball. And, of course, in the back of their mind is the fact that they have not beaten Blue Ridge in the last 6 or 7 years.
Now the officials are going to talk this over because there was 1:51 left to play, and the penalty was a delay of game, so they shouldn't start the clock here. And the head official did wind it. Oh. No, they do wind it. I guess.
Wow.
I guess that's the. I guess it's all right.
Well, then a good delay of penalty then. Delay of game, I mean.
2 wideouts, or rather 3. Trips right. And Vaughn to throw, sets up the screen. It's caught by McKeever. He gets by 1 tackle, now 2 tackles. 45, 30, 25, 20, 10, touchdown. McKeever picks up the big play, and that's going to seal the deal as the Wickenburg Wranglers will not give up their 10-point lead.
Wow.
So the Jackets have cut it to 3 twice now in this second half, and McKeever has been the go-to guy as he picks up his 23rd touchdown of the season.
Well, I'll tell you, for the seniors, this is a tough loss. Well, especially with the way they played in the second half, but the youngsters are getting a lesson here. Too many arm tackles. Nobody broke down. Steele Armstrong had a play on McKeever, but he flew right by him. He never broke down in order to wrap up and bring McKeever down. So just poor execution and inexperience on the Yellow Jacket side of the ball.
60-yard pass. And the PAT's up and no good.
Doesn't matter.
So with 1:23 left to play in the fourth quarter, it's the Wickenburg Wranglers 26, the Yellow Jackets 17. We'll step away. Back with more Cellular One's presentation of quarterfinal action of the state playoffs on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58 right after this. The Jackets trailing now by 9 points with 1:23 left to play in the contest. And a high end-over-end kick here. Fielded at the 12, out to the 15, 20, 25, to the 30-yard line for Parkinson.
Unfortunately, the Jackets have already given up. No effort there by that back wedge to create any holes. I thought they had good coverage, but they just didn't accelerate. Martinez had to slow down.
It was Martinez on the return.
Yeah, and they had to allow the Wranglers to come in from behind, but I'm sure they'll take a couple shots to the end zone here. At
the 31-yard line, we remind you that we've got the Horn Auto Center postgame wrap-up show coming up, and, of course, Game 2 of this doubleheader. The game that's supposed to kick off at 8 o'clock. The Sholo Cougars face the Seton Catholic Sentinels. 3 wide receivers near side, 1 to the far side, and a single back in the backfield behind Williams. Williams dropping to pass. Looks across the middle, now comes near side. He's in trouble. Reverses field, goes to the far side, now steps up inside and will be dropped at about the line of scrimmage. Got a couple of yards.
I want to know what Brian Ditton's doing at the 15-yard line.
1:04 left to play, and the clock will wind once, or
timeout.
they got timeout on the field. The Yellow Jackets want to talk it over. We'll keep it here. As we remind you that the Cougars kick off at 8 o'clock against the number 1 team out of the South, the Sentinels of Seton Catholic High School. A familiar foe for the Cougars back in, what year was that?
2003?
3? Was it two?
I believe it was
2003. It's either 03 or 02 when the Cougars faced the Sentinels for the state title game at McClintock High School and won. They will look for some of that magic to rub off on them as first-year head coach Danny Hawkins brings his Cougars down to Tempe High School this time to face the Sentinels in quarterfinal action. Winner moves on, loser goes home. And the winners tonight will move to Mesa Community College next week to play in the semifinals. We'll have a full look at the brackets in our Horn Auto Center postgame wrap-up show immediately following this contest. 2nd down and 9 for the Jackets. But more importantly, just 1 minute 4 seconds left on the clock, and they need 2 scores. Williams fires across the middle. It is caught. And with room to run, out across midfield, the Jackets lose the football, and Wickenburg says they have it. The officials say they have it. No, they say it's down. They say he was down.
Well, that gift is a little too late from the officials there. That's a bad call.
At the 44, so the Jackets with 55 seconds get a Market Street Mortgage first down at the 44. 55 seconds left in the contest. Williams brings his team to the ball. Takes the snap as they wind the clock. Williams fires left side this time. Caught by Parkinson over at the 24. Market Street Mortgage first down, and the Jackets on the move. 45 seconds left in the contest. Not over yet, Mike.
Not over. Pretty dang close.
Don't count them out.
But not over yet. You can never count out Coach Morrow. If only they would have played with this much urgency in the first half.
Martinez and Parkinson come wide to the near sideline, and Wickenburg doesn't like what they see. They call a timeout. We'll step away. 45 seconds left in the game. This is Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58. Yellow Jackets and the Wickenburg Wranglers. This is Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58. Wickenburg with a 26-17 lead. The Jackets with a 1st and 10 here after a huge catch by Parkinson. Will operate inside the 25 at the 24. Wickenburg 24. Williams takes a snap. Now sets up the screen to Armstrong. Out to the 20, to the 15, 5, and he steps out of bounds.
Weiss.
To Sterling Weiss on the far sideline, and Sterling Weiss already has scored one of those in for a touchdown. This time he's driven out of bounds at the 5.
Well, they're certainly going to make it interesting, if nothing else here.
Another Market Street Mortgage first down, and now you talked about going for 2 before.
Yeah.
Would have made it interesting
would have made
scenario.
An 8-point game right now instead of 9. Of course, hindsight is always 20/20.
That's right. You had the feeling.
But I did. I mean, I would have gone for 2. Of course, then I would have been made a fool if they wouldn't have got it, because then they'd be down 10.
At the 4-yard line, they mark him out. So it's 1st and goal from the 4. Jackets will look to the air again on play action. Williams going to keep, dives for the end zone, scores from 4 yards out.
We got a flag here. It's going to come back.
Hold the phones with 31 seconds left on the game clock. Jackets may have to pull this one off the board. And the penalty marker thrown by the line judge on the far side, and we get a penalty against the Jackets.
What is that call? Legal use of the hands or something?
Not sure what that is.
I mean, there have been, and you know what? I tell you what, something about this Wickenburg side of the ball, it sure has been favorable to the Wranglers.
Like to hear the we need our 2J's Auto Sales sideline reporter, but our audio just hasn't worked out for us tonight. So Brandon Juber going to take the night off, I think.
Just enjoy the game? Well, probably not enjoying it, but
we'll try to get him hooked up for game 2. So a 5-yard penalty. Jackets with a 1st and goal from the 10.
Wow, they ran it.
They give it to the First man through on the left side. He has 5 yards on the carry.
Calling timeout, though. Last timeout right here. Might as well. 26 seconds. You're going to have to recover an onside kick, throw a pass down the field, and go for a heck of a field goal to end the game.
Well, you would like to have saved that timeout to set up the field goal.
Well, you can always spike the ball. You only need 1 second.
What do you think Bonilla's range is? If we can jump ahead of ourselves a little bit.
I'd say that he has a shot from 50 yards. But that means they got to get the ball down to the Wickenburg 33, which means they have to at least run one offensive play in order to get it down to that situation.
So the clock really becoming a factor here with 26 seconds left in the game. Jackets trailing 26-17. Needing 2 scores, a 9-point difference. And after the timeout, they will have it, 2nd and goal from the 5. They go with a 4 wide receiver set, 3 right, 1 left. 1 back behind Williams, offset to the left side. I believe it is Rosales as Parkinson, Martinez, and Ditton line up to the left side, and they throw it from 5 yards out, complete on the left side for the touchdown. And scoring it for the Yellow Jackets was Sterling Weiss.
Well, now you can go ahead and go for the field goal, the extra point, because it doesn't matter. I mean, you just need 1, and then you need a field goal. So they're gonna make this interesting. Wickenburg, still feeling confident at this point. However, not quite out of the woods yet.
Bonilla on to try the point after. Williams set to hold. And the untimed down will give the Jackets an opportunity to go for an onside after the PAT. High snap, and it's blocked. And so now instead of having a chance to win the ball game here, Jeff Alder comes in and puts the block on, and so the Jackets will have a chance to tie. When we return, this is Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5. Scoreboard reads Wickenburg 26, Yellow Jackets 23. Welcome back to Tempe High School and Cellular One's presentation of high school football on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58 with 23 seconds left on the game. Jackets trail by 3, 26-23. They will presumably go for the onside kick here. Francisco Bonilla tees it up at his 40 and runs it left side, kicks it too hard, and it is fielded well by Wickenburg, and Wickenburg will have the ball and will get a chance to run the clock out here as Josh Bergman, the senior tight end, does a nice job of picking up the short hop that bounced up over his head. He pulls it down and saves the game for Wickenburg and ends any shot of the Jackets coming back for a tie.
It was a good attempt by Bonilla there. He almost got the big hop. But not quite. They put the big man in. Doesn't look like number 7. He gets a lot of playing time, but he's going to get 20 seconds here, and they're going to take a knee. Oh, and the big 6'8", 320-pounder sophomore for the Wranglers going to get 1 play.
Alex Napoles.
I hope.
Sophomore offensive line, and also Mike Miller in for Wickenburg for the final snap of the game. The Jackets with no timeouts, and so Wickenburg will kneel on it here and take away the victory. 26-23 is the final, as the final 12 seconds will wind off the clock, and Wickenburg advances to the semifinals. As we take a look at the bracket for you in the 3A conference, Wickenburg will face the winner of tonight's nightcap, the Sholo Cougars and the Seton Catholic Sentinels. Coming up next here on Q Country 92.5. Stay tuned. Our Horn Auto Center post-game wrap-up show is coming up next on Q Country 92.5 and cable channel 58. Welcome back to Tempe High School and the Horn Auto Center post-game wrap-up show. Camden Smith, Mike side with Mike Granillo. Mike, the second half, a seesaw battle in the sorts as both teams going back and forth between a 10 and a 3-point lead, and sometimes that was cut to 9. A lot of interesting things happened, but the final score 26-23, so the net is the Jackets lose. Yeah, and it was an exciting second half, if nothing else, and a hard-fought game. The Jackets came out and played a lot more intense in the second half, and I think that was the difference. The problem was 2 plays, and really 1 play ran twice
for the Wranglers, and that was the screenplay to McKeever, and he busted a play of 60, and I think the other one was 79 yards, and those were just daggers. But yet the Jackets, wounded and beaten down, they came back and had a chance at the end to win it, but just too many mistakes on the defensive side of the ball to come back from. They didn't turn the ball over, and we talked about that as a key, but just not quite enough experience, and just the first half just didn't play as hard as they needed to, and I think that kind of got them down. But the good news is the future looks pretty good for the Jackets.
Well said. As we recap the highlights for you of the second half, it was Blue Ridge coming out of the locker room first to score. Wickenburg first to come out early in the third quarter with 11-12 left in the third quarter. An 80-yard pass for them from Vaughn to Alder to Murphy. It was the halfback pass, Alder to Murphy, 80 yards. PAT was blocked in the score with 11-12 left to play third quarter. Wickenburg 13, Yellow Jackets 3. In the fourth quarter, Blue Ridge opens up with a 24-yard pass from Parkinson to score, and this one good for a good PAT at that point, gives the Jackets, cuts the lead to 3, 13-10. Wickenburg answers right back with a screen pass to McKeever, 79-yard pass. PAT is good, and Wickenburg back up 20-10, a 10-point lead for them at that stage of the game. Then with 2:38 left to play, the Yellow Jackets look like they're going to come back and make a last-second try at it. 29-yard pass from Williams to Sterling Weiss. The PAT is good, and the Yellow Jackets cut the lead back down to 3, 20-17. Then with 1:23 to play, Wickenburg answers right back with a 60-yard pass to McKeever. That's that identical play you were talking about, Steve. Hi, Steve. Mike. I thought I was going to push you out, and I did, didn't I? 60-yard pass to McKeever is good for the touchdown, and the PAT was no good. So the score with 1:23 left to play in the ball game, Wickenburg 26, the Yellow Jackets 17. The Yellow Jackets get the final score of the game, a 5-yard pass to Sterling Weiss. The PAT is blocked, and that's our final. Yellow Jackets with a 3-point loss here to Wickenburg in the in quarterfinal action of the 2006 state playoffs. They lose it 26-23. They go home. Wickenburg goes to Mesa Community College next week, the semifinals, and they will face the winner of the Seton Catholic Sentinels and the Sholo Cougars. That game we'll have for you coming up next here on Q Country 92.5. That wraps up our Horn Auto Center postgame show here on cable channel 58. For you listeners on Q Country 92.5, a whole lot of football left to play and a whole lot of football left to talk about. We'll be back with more of that coming up next.
Up your helmet on tight. There's a growl from a cougar on a 50-yard line. Hungry for victory and looking for a fight. Scratching and clawing with red in his eyes. Screaming out of nowhere down from the sky. There's a swarm of Yellow Jackets coming in sight. Angry as a bulldog right behind a Lobo. Now don't you worry, mama, it's just Friday night.
Thanks for watching Sailor One's High School Football Game of the Week, Saturdays and Sundays at 2 p.m., right here on Cable One's Channel 58, live on 92.5 KTHQ.